Welcome to my channel, especially if you are new here. It would be lovely if you could take a moment to subscribe. So I'm currently in my local Starbucks in my usual spot. And today I'm going to be trying as much of the new Starbucks festive menu as I can. Now I'm having 2 items in store and the rest I've got as takeaway. Here I have a tall caramel waffle latte. And this is the Turkee and Trimmings Toastie, but it's the vegan one. So I can't remember exactly what's in it, and I'm recording on my phone so I can't look it up. It's soya-based turkey. I'm just trying to sort through it with the wooden knife. Cabbage, leek, sprout and potato hash, I think it said, and vegan cheese. I'm honestly not 100% sure if I'm actually going to like this. The issue I have with Christmas sandwiches is I hate sage, and so many of them just have sage in them. That's how it's looking inside. It's slightly strange because it's soft and almost slightly soggy underneath, but crispy on top. And there's cranberry in this too. It's actually really delicious. I am someone who loves sprouts. So yeah, this is really nice. The cranberry just adds a lovely fruity tang. So, latte next. Really hard not to get a cream moustache, but you've got to have the cream on top. This drink is really delicious as well. It's almost like a combination of a pumpkin spice latte and a caramel latte, and that might sound like it wouldn't work, but it really does. It's got the sweet caramel taste and a hint of warming cinnamon. I find with coffee, if it's got cream on top or hot chocolate, and I get it to take away, the lid on the cup kind of forces the cream to just melt down into the drink, and it just isn't as nice. I've been picking this spot every time I film in Starbucks because I've got a wall behind me, so I'm not going to accidentally get people walking into shop, because I don't want to get other people on camera without their permission really, when I can avoid it. But it also means that I'm facing a window and looking right out. So when you're posing to take a thumbnail for 10 seconds, everyone can see it. And the staff must be thinking I'm nuts, but then that wouldn't be too far from the actual truth. So this is the only savoury item that I'm trying from Starbucks in this video. And the caramel waffle latte will be the only drink because the other Christmas drinks they've had before. And then I've got a big bag of sweet snacks to take away, and I will taste test them at home just because you'll be able to hear me better. And I also didn't want to have like a plate or a tray with loads and loads of cakes to sit and eat in the window of Starbucks. I couldn't get everything I wanted to get. I really wanted to try the Jolly Jammy biscuit. They just don't have it. Some of the new cakes I won't be trying because they've got nuts, and I really don't like nuts. But I'm sure there will be lots of other people who've reviewed this menu already and are likely to have tried those products. I'm wearing my reindeers today. I'm going to stop filming here, finish what I've got, and I'll see you when I'm back home with the rest of the good stuff. So I'm back home with my bag of goodies. It is so cold outside. I'm going to go and arrange these as prettily as I can on a plate, and then we'll get into the good bit. So here is everything from my haul. I went for only one of the biscuits, the other one's a penguin, just because they're quite similar, just covered in different chocolate and with a few different decorations. So I've also got the Christmas tree brownie, a mince pie, the Cran-merry Cheesecake Muffin, and red velvet cake. So I'm looking forward to trying these. The toastie, I didn't say at the time, was really delicious. I couldn't have told you it was vegan. It had a lovely cheesiness, but it wasn't an overpowering flavour. Everything was balanced just right. And even though one side was crunchy and one side was soggy, it still tasted really good. So I would definitely have that again. I guess out of 5, I'd put it probably at a 4. The coffee was a good coffee. I'd say again, probably a 4. It was different and it was lovely, but I think there are other coffee drinks that I find I prefer. So that's enough of that. Let's get on to the sweet stuff. I think I'm just going to start with the mince pie. I don't actually know if this is going to be a taste test where I just eat all of it or not. I'll see how I go. But the toastie was breakfast, so it's a very weighty pie, decent size. You can see how well filled that is, and the pastry is a good thin pastry, but it's nice and short and it's not too sweet. It's so good. I am just going to eat this whole thing because it's just so delicious. The mincemeat is also really fruity and nice. For anyone watching who doesn't know, it's not actually mince as in beef that's in these. And I was in my 20s before I realised it was not actually like ground beef with bits of fruit stuck in a pie. But as crazy as that might sound, that is actually how mince pies began. I think I saw it on Bake Off or something. But yeah, it did used to be actual meat with fruit in, but they ate some weird stuff back in the day. One thing I remember clearly from studying Roman history when I was at high school, a Roman delicacy was dormouse in honey. That is a really, really good mince pie. And like a total amateur, I've forgotten to get a drink. So I'm just going to go and get a glass of water before I try the next thing. So next, I think I'm going to try the red velvet cake because I'm not a huge fan of it. Chocolate cake in general is not really my thing. So I'm hoping I'll like this. It's all right. The sponge is nice and moist and the icing is nice. I'm not really a fan of sprinkles either, but they do add a bit of a crunch to the texture. There's not a lot of taste to this and it's got quite a dense texture. I'm going to leave the rest of that for later. It's not one that I think I would get again. I don't actually tend to get Starbucks bakery items because they're not fresh and I find that I can really taste that. I mean, the mince pie was nice, so I'm going to go for the brownie next. So, oh, I've just snapped the top off the tree. So there it is. Christmas tree. It feels quite dry. The top is very dry tasting. There is a bit of fudginess to it, but it's not the best brownie that I've had, and I don't think I would get it again. So that's another one that can go back for later. That biscuit, the polar bear, I keep looking at it and eyeing it up, but I think I'm going to save it for last. So the Cranberry Cheesecake Muffin, which is filled. I do love cranberries. I tend to have cranberries in sweet stuff though, like biscuits, muffins, or porridge. I've never had cranberry sauce in sandwiches or toasties or things like that before I started doing YouTube, so that's something else. It's a very decent sized muffin. It's got a good weight to it. It feels nice and soft. I'm going to break it apart. Just move that out of the way so I can do this close up without getting crumbs everywhere. Again, it's disappointing. I find Starbucks muffins, the tops, always have a strange texture to them. I don't really know how to describe it. But the actual sponge, while it's light and fluffy, it doesn't really taste of anything. And there's not a whole lot of flavour coming from the cranberries. And the filling, I mean, there could be more than that in it. And I do like a muffin, so I don't think I would get this one again. Although there are a good amount of cranberries in it. I just think it needs more flavour. Right, on to the polar bear, which is white chocolate, and these are some sort of, I think, like Smartie thing. I'm just going to go for an ear. This is a lovely biscuit. It's nice and crunchy. The white chocolate coating is quite thin, but that stops it from being too sweet. It's nice. I don't think I'd get it again though, because it's not nice enough or different enough for the price. I can't remember exactly how much it was. I've got £2.25 in my head, but that might be wrong. The highlight of this menu for me is definitely the toastie. There is no competition. And the mince pie comes in second place. And those are probably the only two things I would have again. The coffee I might have again, but I don't know. So that's just my opinion of the Starbucks festive menu. There are a lot more sandwiches and toasties on it. But as I say, most of them have got sage in them. And I can't do sage. But yeah, definitely worth checking some of it out for yourself if you fancy it. I'm going to go and clean up the crumbs I have managed to make despite having a plate. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to drop me a comment in the box below, and I'll see you next time. Merry Christmas!